Very destructive. As I've said, like wrecking ball, like a crazy train going off the rails, like every other cliche in the book means an unstoppable force. Uh, Basically, that is what the Crimson Rhino Riders have been. Also seen the Crimson Sky Riders have great success in the Sunday Rumble and Saturday Box Socials as well. They've been winning many of those lately. And of course, they're entering the upcoming Sky League. But let's get started with the loadouts.
Loadout, yes, correct.
Yeah.
We have Rear Admiral Zill on his squid. That is the Hover We Died. We have a Gat on the front with a mortar on the side, and on the back a mine launcher. We have the Hamlet, a Junker piloted by 2 left Socks. Oh, Socks is involved in this one. We have a Gat mine launcher on the left-hand side. The front is an Artemis, and the right-hand side is another Gat mine launcher. And the third ship for the red side of things, the Apraxi Leary, piloted by Nid. We have a Hwacha on the front. That's a Hwacha fish right there, with flare and carronade.
Okay, and on the Grund, we have a Gat mortar front. We have a carronade flare carousel side. And on the Rambition, we have a Gat mortar front and a flare gun carronade side. And finally, on the Solus Autumn, we have that iconic Artemis Hades front and a Artemis flare gun side. Now, here we see Crimson Rhino Riders have already arrayed themselves around the point here. Look at those 3 Pyramidians pointing intimidatingly in the general direction of the Merry Thralls. They're not even bothering to try and contest point D.
I think they understand that the red team had a solid spawn right next to the D point, and they're just saying, you know what, we're fine with that, but we aren't letting you take E. It's not gonna happen.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it must take a lot of composure, a lot of confidence to just not even try, just let those sort of 100 odd points go, and just sort of stay on the next one and say, you know, it's better. We're in this for the long game. And the Crimson Rhino Riders are very, very good at transitioning between the points. I mean, it's not just the sheer killing power, it's also the positioning.
Look at this formation flying we're seeing from the Crimson Rhino Riders right now. This is absolutely impressive. They have all of those nose cones lined up exactly with each other. They know exactly what they're doing. They're taking the bait.
However we died.
However we died.
Oh, however we died, just charging in here, 3-on-1. This is the ballsy maneuver here. That however we died, trying to slip into this little crack here, go underneath, but he takes a bounce. Oh dear. And now the however we died goes in. That was a bold move.
I see what they were trying to do. I get exactly what he was trying to do. They were trying to use that as a diversion and then squeak into the pipes. Unfortunately, they had the bounce, but the diversion worked. And now the Hamlet and Apraxi Leary are right in the middle there. Great mine hit on the
nice mine. The Grond's armor was down, but there was no explosive damage to follow up. And now it's a 3-on-1 situation against the Apraxia and the Hamlet. The Apraxia's armor is down. Rambition coming in for a ram, living up to its name. Boom. Hamlet taking heavy fire as well. I think the best that the Merry Thralls can do at this point is to delay them. However we died is coming back in, however.
You know, it's Zill. You can't fault him for being aggressive.
Oh no, absolutely not. Oh, however we died, a solid ram on the Solus Autumn. My God. However we died,
they lost their balloon, but that was incredibly impressive.
Extremely aggressive squid here. I mean, just using the squid's balloon as a battering ram. Now, however we died, its armor has been taken down, getting rammed by the Rambition Solus Autumn, following however we died down. I think that was another mine hit on the Grond. However we died, being followed down here. Oh, it's hulls down. Oh, Solus Autumn takes a bounce off, however. However we died, doing a really good job of blocking this point.
We haven't really
taking
seen
the
the
mortars.
Soul Sword'em get into its own yet. It likes that great mid-range play, but there, between the Rambition and the Soul Sword'em just now, we saw it finally getting its focus and getting that mid-range firepower right on that squid.
This is incredibly impressive by the Merry Thralls. I mean, they're not capping the point. They are definitely losing the battle, but what they are doing is they're staying alive just long enough to block this point, and they're sitting pretty on 135.
And it's been taking all 3 of the Crimson Rhino Rider ships just to keep this point from not being contested anymore. It's taken all 3 of these Crimson Rhino Rider ships to continuously kill off these Merry Thrall ships.
And once again, there's no bonuses for kills in this match. This is just a fight to the finish. This is about winning. And the Merry Thralls are doing a great job of that. Sacrificing these ships, but it doesn't matter because now they've blocked the Crimson Rhino Riders from getting really any substantial points from E, and they're already moving on to A.
Even if they are capping it at this point, and even though they are going to cap it, they're only going to get about 50 points from it. That's, and all things considered, negligible. That's less than half the points you normally get from a cap.
Yeah, significantly less, yeah. And however we died is poised beneath A, ready to cap it. It looks like Hamlet will be there in time for it to tick over. However, the Crimson Rhino Riders are coming in a full head of steam. 30 seconds should be just about enough to engage, to block the Merry Thralls trying to cap the point here. Rambition trying to squeeze through this little gap. Oh, but I think he might have taken a little bit of a bounce there. He's trying to negotiate this tight little spot. And he manages to get through. Oh, gets pushed through by the Grond.
Oh, he's a little bit ahead. Grond coming in behind, though.
Grond just pushing Rambition ahead. So get in there, block the point, come on. And now Rambition are being fired upon by the Hamlet. However, we died coming out of its ambush position. The Grond and the Rambition focusing incredible fire on the Hamlet. However, oh! I think that was a ram by the Grond. And now the Hamlet taking heavy damage. The Apraxia Lyri and the However We Died firing on the Rambition. But there's no... the mortars have not been timed. The Watchers have not been timed. The Rambition has not been taken out. And now it's a 3-on-2 situation again.
This is a little bit of a problem for the Merry Thralls. Especially because if they don't get this point, B is almost guaranteed for the blue team. It is inside blue team spawn. They can simply body rush it and take it over without any kind of major complications.
However we died, I'm amazed it managed to survive that last fight there, and I don't think it'll stay alive much longer. The best it can do is stay alive just long enough for the Hamlet to get back in, but that's not going to happen. It is dead. And now with 3 Crimson Rhino Riders capping this point, I don't think the Hamlet's going to be able to block.
If there's one thing the Crimson Rhino Riders do really well, it's communicating and focusing their firepower. They aren't hyper-aggressive. They aren't Glowwater Thralls. They aren't Cake. You don't see that just balls to the wall, consistent aggression, but you do see consistent firepower and being able to target something down in mere moments.
You see measured, precise focus fire and good positioning, and that carries them to victories and capture points, just as it does in 2v2 deathmatches.
We've seen it so many times, specifically from the Solus Ordum and what normally we see as Luosi's Pyramidion as well. Those 2 Pyramidions know exactly how to kill something without them even taking a scratch.
Certainly true. However we died coming in. Oh, this... Oh, yeah, I'm not even sure what he was thinking there. I really don't know. I think it probably, at this point, it would have been better to just scoot on right through to B.
He certainly wasn't thinking about Ambition's nose cone, I'll say that right now.
No, he wasn't.
Again, this puts the Glowwater Thralls in a Merry Thralls, I'm sorry.
Merry Thralls,
in
indeed.
a very bad position. Apraxia Lyri, it's a Hwacha-fish. We really need to see a lot more up-close disables. I need to check their ammo loadout. They have heavy burst and, for some reason, heat sink on that Hwacha.
Now,
all you really need is heavy and burst. Heat sink, I can understand. That makes sense.
Now, there's another, I think, I've been helpfully compiled some statistics of these teams as the Gatling and the the Hades goes down the hamlet. The Crimson Rhino Riders have picked a Pyramidion 14 times and a Galleon once throughout the Aerodrome. The Merry Thralls have taken every ship except the Galleon at least once in this tournament. I mean, the strength of the Merry Thralls here is their variability, and we saw that last week on Desert Scrap. However, against the Crimson Rhino Riders and just this mastery of this one build, it feels like they're struggling a little bit.
Jack of all trades, masters of none, unfortunately.
Well, in this tournament at least. Now, however we died is going to get there just in time to block. However, he's going to have a tough time surviving the onslaught of the Solar Thought and the Rambition and the Grand. The Praxiliri coming in with the Watcher, trying to delay the Rambition.
Again, as a gunner, I'm really unhappy with how the Praxiliri is being used right now. A single sweep from one of that Watcher bursts can take out an entire junker, let alone a Pyramidion. It can completely disable a ship. We're just not seeing it used correctly in this situation.
Yeah, well, that is surprising. Nid, one of the best, probably the best Watcherfish pilot in the game, but not quite. Gunner's not always hitting his marks, unfortunately, in this match.
Yeah, no, and no bump against the pilot too. I mean, watching how this thing has been piloted, it's been mostly gunner issues, not calculating for correct trajectory, considering the ship's motion.
Yeah, well, I think you really need good kind of coordination between captain and gunner in a Watcherfish, especially because it's just a slight movement when you're not expecting it will just throw your shots off completely.
Yep, that's very true. Absolutely, the Watch is very temperamental.
Yes, indeed. And now Hamlet is coming in just in time to block the point. Again, they're managing to deny Crimson Rhino Riders as many points as they would like, but they are losing the war of attrition here as Hamlet gets taken down. That's going to be another captured point for B. They're not getting as many points as they want, but they are winning this, and the Merry Thralls have got to come up with something here.
The rate on the refinery is very specific for having points that generally swing towards a specific team. B and C usually go to blue team. That's simply the pattern. They almost always go to blue team simply because their spawn is right here. Whereas D and E more favors the red team. So what the Merry Thralls really need to do right now is deny on B and C as much as physically possible before we get to D and E, where they have a chance to get more of those points together.
However we died going towards B, this is a complete waste of time. This will deny, well, almost a complete waste of time, because this will deny maybe 25 points, maybe, for the Crimson Rhino Riders, but they're leaving C completely undefended as it's about to tick over.
Praxiliri cannot do this on its own.
No,
she is in deep trouble. Great Hawacha burst there on the Grand and Solar Sword, and both getting hit there, but did not do nearly enough. Spread that firepower out a little bit too much.
I mean, they might be trying to do what you said, just to deny them as many points as possible before they get back to D&E, where they can just... Merry Thralls can mount some kind of a comeback. However, point C, that's a lot of points up for grabs. Oh, and the Praxiliri taking... Oh, Praxiliri about to get shot down here by the Rambition, and boom. You were saying?
This is just, it's not a good situation for the Glowwater Thralls right now, only because they're not able to continuously block like they were on E.
That is true. They're going to have to pull off... I think the However We Died is trying to go under the archway here. Just be a sneaky little squid and do what a sneaky little squid does best. There we go. Very clever. However, there is a battle happening with the Hamlet, and the Hamlet will lose if the Rambition and the Gron get onto it. However We Died... Oh, Rambition coming around to cut off However We Died's escape. However We Died going high, raising up with that Hydro. However, Rambition compensating to follow it. Can However We Died get out of this one? It will be pretty impressive. All engines are buffed. It does have the speed, but can it just get out in time? The armor goes down. However, we died trying to duck underneath the Rambition. Oh, some good evasive flying here. However, we died. Better be careful not to hit one of those mines. Now, the Grond is rear-ending. However, we died. I don't think we can handle this one. And boom, there we have it.
It stayed up a lot longer than I thought it would, to be completely honest.
Yeah,
the Grond and the Rambition were pinching it there. I thought they were done.
It's given it time for the Apraxia-Lyri to get back, and if the Hamlet and Apraxia-Lyri can just kill some time here.
That is how you do a Watcher Burst. Almost the entirety of the Rambition is disabled.
Oh, look at that. Look at all that red on the Rambition. Getting the hang of it.
Gives the Apraxia-Lyri a chance to reload, get that burst ammo back in, and get another burst off, continuously disabling and chipping down the Rambition.
Now, Heavily Died's in a kind of awkward situation here. I mean, does he go to try and secure D, or does he try and kind of, I don't know, flip ambivalently between C and D? That's the question. And now Apraxia-Lyri is taking heavy fire here. The Crimson Rhino Riders are going to get about 50-ish points off of C. And it looks like However We Died is going to try and secure D. Either that, or he's going to try and hold up the Crimson Rhino Riders in this mountain pass somehow.
A decent distraction isn't a bad idea, but Zill needs to make sure his other two ships are on that point.
It's going to be tough for one little squiddy to hold up 3 angry Pyramidians. It'd be impressive if he manages to pull it off, and he needs to pull it off at this stage. Apraxia-Lyri and the Hamlet coming in. However, the Crimson Rhino Riders are probably going to arrive just as that point ticks over. However We Died coming out of the clouds, coming in on the Grond. The Gatling going down on the Grond firing back on the However We Died. Oh, However We Died with a big ram on the Grond. Actually does some damage there. Man,
However Died isn't looking the greatest, but good lord, did they do some damage.
Yes, they did. All right, there we have it. And now it's just a straight-up free fight over the D. The Merry Thralls need to get just one kill. If they can just get one kill, they'll have the advantage of the closer respawns, and they can start winning this battle. They need to focus fire. They need to get a kill here. Hamlet being heavily... Oh, I think there was another mine hit there. The Hamlet gets crushed.
Rambition and the Grond, I'm not sure exactly what they put in their coffee this morning, but good lord. Not just the focused firepower, but the focused ram, the pinching, the maneuvering. It's insane.
Absolute destruction here. However We Died firing the Solar Sortum, but Solar Sortum just ignoring him practically and just continuing to fire on the Apraxia. Hamlet needs to get back in here as soon as he can. He has the advantage to close spawn, but the Crimson Rhino Riders destroying the... Oh, just destroyed the Apraxia-Lyri. Just like they're killing them faster than they can respawn. It's brutal.
This is the problem that they've been facing. The Crimson Rhino Riders, and specifically the Crimson Sky Menace, focuses quite directly on ship destruction as fast as physically possible. They really min-max that brawly math. And
look at this!
Oh my god!
Look at However We Died trying to this tight maneuvering around the smokestack. He got stuck for a moment there, but he managed to lead the Grond through. Now the Grond's bouncing around. However We Died can just get forward a little bit more. He'll be able to save himself. Oof! There's some tricky flying by Rear Admiral Zill here, managing to hold on to this point by hook or by crook.
Again, this is the problem that's been coming out for this game. Great Watcher Burst on the Rambition, taking out its engines. That's critical. The problem is that the Crimson Rhino Riders know exactly how to kill them off. I don't believe, at least, the Glowwater, the Merry Thralls Rider have gotten a kill yet this game. That's the problem at this point.
Yeah, fundamentally, at the end of the day, as a football commentator might say, you got to get the kills. You got to get the ball in the back of the net, as it were. And that's just not happening. The Merry Thralls just do not have a lot of killing power. I mean, they're maneuverable, they're fast, but when it comes down to a straight-up fight, they're at a big disadvantage.
And normally you don't think that. I mean, Merry Thralls are an absolutely A-plus team, but do football commentators really say you got to get the kills?
No, they don't. They
Oh,
just
okay.
say kind of cliched things like you got to get the ball
Right.
in the back of the net, or at the end of the day, and they just say stuff like that. They use a lot of cliches, basically.
I think it'd be funny if they said you got to get the kills.
At the end of the day, you got to kill the other guys. Well, given the way football's going, that may be what they say. Yes, that may be the that may be the future of sports. But dystopian predictions about the future of sporting events aside, the Crimson Riders here are charging towards Point E, and they're gonna get to it just as it ticks over here. The
There
Apraxia
actually
Lyri.
appears to be a problem on the Rambition. One of their engineers, and I believe that's their main deck engie, keeps getting disconnected.
Oh dear. Oh well, that's just that's making a bad situation significantly worse. The Apraxia Lyri's managed to get a little bit of cap on this Point E. Just they need to get these kills so badly. They need to get a kill. Cannot stress this enough. Apraxia Lyri, oh, just Gatling raining down. Here comes the Gron for a big ram. A big ram. The Apraxia Lyri, Hydro's up. The Gron is compensating. Gron compensating way too much there. I think he held down his Hydro button a little bit longer than was needed. Oh, and now the Apraxia Lyri getting bombarded by the Rambition, but however we died firing on the Rambition, trying to save the Apraxia Lyri. Oh, this has been a tooth-and-nail battle here. Two hardened, determined teams, veterans of this brutal, savage war between Anglia and Yesha. One final standoff. However, we died taking big damage here. Oh, as my screen rubber bands a little bit, making play-by-play difficult.
The problem coming out here is that the Merry Thralls simply do not have the kill power that all these Metamidians have, and the Soul Sortum, of course.
That is true. Yeah, just every time they start to get it. Oh wait, hang on, you say that? Oh no, wait, it was a Merry Thrall ship. Sorry, my rubber bandit lied to me. And oh god, in quick succession,
All those
three.
Merry Thrall ships, they go down one after another, after another, after another in quick succession. I believe the Crimson Rhino Riders actually timed that up where all those kills would happen so they could get the point.
Well, I think it was more they decided to kill them, and they did. I don't know if they. I mean, there's a lot of timing about it, but wow. And now there we go. Rambition, Grond, and Solar Sortum moving right onto A, as well timed as you can get. They're going to arrive at A just as it ticks over. The Apraxia Lyri and the Hamlet. However, have we died in hot pursuit? But I don't know how well they're going to be able to hold these fast Pyramidians.
This is actually the best chance they have. Going up against the front sides of those Pyramidians has not worked out yet. So
all these
Pyramidians, they're trying to hit the engine columns.
All these Pyramidians have moonshine. All of them are very fast. It's very difficult to kind of catch up with them and slow them down. However, Solar Sortum having a little bit of trouble negotiating this pass here. Solar Sortum... Oh, Solar Sortum getting smashed with a big whatcher from the Apraxia Lyri. And now the Crimson Rhino Riders are split up. The Merry Thralls need to take advantage of this. They need to get a kill so badly.
The Soul Sortum is a very important ship in this combination. Without it, they have no long-range disable and mid-range disable on these Pyramidians. They're both
there
brawlers.
goes his engines. However, Apraxia Lyri is going to find it very difficult to kill the Solar Sortum on his own, and the Hamlet is taking big damage.
Big problems right now. Oh, goodness, it could go absolutely both ways.
I think just the superior damage potential of the Crimson Rhino Riders as the Hamlet goes down is going to win the day, even though the Apraxia Lyri is holding up the... the Apraxia Lyri moving through! Apraxia Lyri taking a bounce as he tries to negotiate. It's a tricky little spot here. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And now, however we died, taking big damage. How have we died?
Just a good angle on this. The
heroic
Apraxia Lyri is
effort.
moving out. This is This could either be really great or really bad. It all depends upon how that Hwacha fires. We have it going out against the Grand.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Took out 2 guns. That might have saved the However We Died. Now, However We Died desperately needs to turn that Gatling. He desperately needs to strip the armor of the Grand so the Apraxia Lyri can finish it off. Oh, but However We Died taking a bounce. And, oh, the Rambition's coming in. Here comes the Rambition. And
the Pyramidion
boom.
is such a well-balanced vessel. It is such a great, primarily aggressive ship that when you equip a team like this with brawlers and a mid to long range support ship, it is absolutely impossible to break it.
Poof. Well, there goes the Grunt, another kill. I feel a Galleon would have helped the Merry Thralls on this map. I mean, a Galleon, a close-range Galleon is one of the few things that can just go toe-to-toe with the Pyramidion in an outright brawl, which has been the case here repeatedly. Oh, things are just not going well for the Hamlet here, taking just, oh, so many hit markers, so much red. It's horrible.
One thing that, especially when you consider the Junker and the Goldfish on the Merry Thrall side of things, not so much the Squid, it doesn't really matter. The Gatling gun on the Grand and the Rambition have been absolutely on target with breaking those front guns, specifically on the Junker with those side guns, and on the Apraxia Lyri with that Hwacha, making sure it stays down. The Gatling gun can be surprisingly good at breaking components.
Oh, However We Died, taking big damage here. Some people here seem to be in the chat seem to be frustrated with just how good the Pyramidion is in these capture point events.
I would hope everyone observes good rules of sportsmanship. It is appreciated.
Yes, indeed. Apraxia Lyri, oh, firing on the Soulless Autumn, taking out one of the guns, and now this is it. If the Crimson Rhino Riders can get even a decent amount of points on this next cap, it will be over. Apraxia Lyri being focus fired by the Rambition and the Soulless Autumn. Now the points ticking over. Grand moonwalking back towards the point. Apraxia Lyri's surprisingly still alive here.
I would like to have seen a slightly different ship choice from the Merry Thralls in the situation.
A little bit more
pretty
killing
much,
power.
from the Crimson Rhino Riders, we've always seen this. We've always seen the triple Pyramidion. It's their exact build. They do it very well. As we see the last of this point move, I would have much rather seen a Galleon in this situation. Yeah, it's a big target, but it also has a lot of very heavy guns that could have been used to take out the Grand and the Rambition before they became that major threat.
Oof, yeah, I mean, I don't think the ship composition has been ideal. I mean, the Merry Thralls have experimented with a lot of different compositions, and I just don't think this was the right pick against the right team and the right map. And there we have it. There's the cap. I think this is pretty much over now.
Solid play from the Crimson Rhino Riders. They're going to take this one 550 to 135, I do believe. That's a new cap score, right?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I keep getting confused between this
I get
and,
Angling and Raid refused. Here we go. Here we have it. And it looks like the Crimson Rhino Riders are about to vanquish their foes. This entire Aerodrome conflict. They can hear the cheering Anglian clouds.
Oh, no, it's
crowd,
600.
rather.
I was wrong. It's 600.
Yes. as I managed to mispronounce every word I say, the Apraxia Lyri sneaking in from behind. However,
I think you said a couple of words right in there.
Yeah. And now the Apraxia Lyri, one final dash, one final offensive for Yesha. The Crimson Rhino Riders do not want to be delayed in their celebration of their victory.
The Crimson Rhino Riders played this out very well. They knew exactly which control points they needed to start off with. They went right to E. They didn't even bother with D. They simply got things going on the right foot with them. And I don't believe they ever actually lost a single ship that entire time.
And there we have it. The victory for the Crimson Rhino Riders, the heroes of Anglia. Well, there we have it. They won the war and they won the battle. Who says you can't have your cake and eat it too?
I think actually the Crimson Rhino Riders were the highest scoring team for the
Well,
Aerodrome. Correct me
yes,
if I'm wrong.
they were. They undefeated.